And we are now joined by Shanice Maposa, who is going to share with us some of the insights and their role in supporting Botswana's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Let me take this time to Machola in the studio.
Thank you, Ra.
Emma, kindly introduce yourself to the viewers and your company.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Shanice Maposa and I'm from Buddha Space. Currently, I'm here as part of the coordinating team for Global Entrepreneurship Week, and I serve as the Creative Enterprise Director at Buddha Space. So this is well within my expertise. Thank you.
You had a Global Entrepreneurship Week last week, and could you please talk to us about that?
Okay, so Global Entrepreneurship Week is a week-long event that takes place in over 200 countries, so it's very much global. So in over 200 countries, we were all celebrating this week, where we brought in different partners to come and collaborate with us to foster innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship.
Could you please maybe share the mission and the vision, what you wanted to achieve?
So for this particular one, we were mainly focused on partnerships, like I said. So we managed to actually bring in 4 embassies to come and partner with us, 13 entrepreneurs within the Botswana ecosystem, because this is within our own landscape. And we were also able to just foster that spirit of innovation amongst the youth. So it was very much centered around youth technology. From day one, we had Media Day. The second day, we had round tables. It was just an all-round day filled with technology, youth, AI, and entrepreneurship.
Wow. Maybe someone would like to know, because you're talking about technology, what are some of the countries that joined us for the Entrepreneurship Week?
Thank you so much for that question. Actually, like I said, we brought in 4 embassies. One of them was the Embassy of Ukraine. The other one was the French Embassy. Both of these countries, I'd say, are championing AI, especially with the French people. They are leading currently with the AI. So it was quite an insightful moment to actually gauge how they've done it and kind of see it for ourselves as the youth. So those are the 2 that I would highlight. The Ukraine one is mostly into drone technology, agri-tech. So we also had a conversation around that actually. So it was quite insightful in that regard.
And what are the key highlights or maybe the takeaways from the Entrepreneurship Week? Okay,
so as I said, 1 week long, so there's a lot of things to unpack, but because you should have been there, honestly. So I'll just highlight a few things, beginning with day 1, which was Media Day. This is where we focused on storytelling as a tool to impact business growth. We had different speakers like Gailo coming in to come in, just give us a structure on how we as entrepreneurs can incorporate that in our business dealings. And on day 2, that's when we had the round table discussion. This is where we met at the French Embassy, and we had Lesego Chombo, the minister, as our guest. And it was facilitated by the French Embassy. So Valerie Baraben, Her Excellency, opened up with these words. She said, she gave us 3 key ingredients that we can use to scale our business. The first one being action, the second one being innovation, and lastly, audacity. So essentially, she called us as the youth and entrepreneurs to focus on acting upon our ideas, our dreams, our passions, and not only acting, but introducing innovative ways in which we can solve solutions and also be bold about it. So by the time that she was done speaking, I feel like the room was now opened up for us youth to also be bold in the way that we were asking for help. So that was quite insightful, because we brought in a lot of youth that were solving actual real-life problems using AI and technology. And we also had, another key highlight was the awards day, which happened as a culmination of the whole week, where we now kind of brought ourselves from that high and kind of just appreciated the youth that are actually building something. Because there's a lot of talent that is in Botswana but is not known, right? So I'm really happy to be here, because then I can shed some light on the fact that there is talent, there is value in Botswana, and we can actually champion that moving forward. So one of the things that we actually did was debunk that statement. AI is not going to take anyone's job. People who are using AI are going to take your job. So you better be ready to position yourself. So that's the caveat, right? It's like, it's not the AI that's going to take your job. It's the person who has taken the time to sit down and actually study how the global economy is operating, and actually takes the time to then take it a step further and learn. right? The schools are not going to give you everything, but it's upon you to actually take that first step and find the people that can help you, connect with them, network with them, get help, ask. As the ambassador has already spoken, we must be bold in what we want out of this life. So AI is not going to take our jobs, but we did have a lot of conversations around that, and I feel like we opened it up to also show people how we can actually incorporate AI in your daily living. We had a doctor graduated who was integrating AI in her solutions, Care AI. So I'm not going to say much on that, but essentially this is a profession, a doctor, but she's now incorporating AI within her solution. That's one way of doing it. AI can also be applied in fashion. As a fashion designer, I actually am looking forward to implementing that. And we also had formal AI as part of the youth that joined us. That whole week was packed. We had events everywhere. Everywhere. You just had to plug in and, you know, connect on our socials and kind of see what was there. So the way that we engage the youth is most of our panel discussions, we had workshops. Most of our panel discussions were actually run and led by youth voices. So we kept them very engaged in that regard. And just the activities, we had Innovation Day, for example, at the University of Boto. The people that it was centered around was university students. We made sure that we had an incentive for them to actually be able to afford to come to the event. We had free entrance for Boto and BU students, and then we had subsidized prices for them also. So really, we really made sure that this year we really focused on the youth, more especially even when you take it to the breakfast roundtable held at the French embassy. The topic was essentially youth and AI, what opportunities. So this is where we had the youth voices being represented within the presence of the Minister of Youth and Youth Affairs, right, and Gender Affairs. So this one helped us to actually allow policies, government, private sectors to hear the voice of the youth. So the youth was very much engaged throughout this whole process. We had events like She Leads Summit, where we catered to women also. I know that Botswana is in this, actually the whole world, we're really just trying to really empower the women to also join in on the entrepreneurship landscape. So we really had events for everyone and anyone.
Wow, that was a mouthful. And I believe you guys had some expectations, and I believe you really did achieve a lot. How did you measure the impact? Because I'm sure there's an impact.
So the thing about impact is it can range from little to high, depending on the person, right? So we really believe that even if we had just impacted one person, it would have been more than enough for us, because that one person causes a domino effect. But fortunately for us, we actually had more people. So in terms of impact, we did look at the numbers of people that attended our events, how visible we were even as we were campaigning for this. Because if you're not online, then you don't exist, right? In this digital age, if you're not online, you don't exist. So we really pushed forward to make sure that the event was very well documented. But beyond that, I'd say also we just measured in the way that it affected the growth of just the internal team and everyone involved. If you had a personal goal that you achieved and we helped you to do that, we're happy. And we did get a lot of that feedback.
Ntsona wetso ko lapeng tla ke tse sebaka se ke go amogele thulaganyo ke yone ya YT e kopanyang le nna ke na le boditsantsima o tla rata go itse jalo gore re na le dipuisanyo tse e leng gore wena o le motswana ko lapeng o ka rata go di itse o ka di itumelela. And I've been having Shanice, Maposa, they've been having a global entrepreneurship week. Last week, artificial intelligence, AI, media, and right with me on studio, I have Emang, Machola, Shanice, Emang, this time,
my name is Emang Machola. I'm an innovative fellow at Bullet Space, and I was part of the organizing team behind Global Entrepreneurship Week just last week.
Maybe before similar or in just half a minute, how was the experience? How was the week? How did you say it?
Well, this was my first Global Entrepreneurship Week, so I really learned a lot and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I was mainly doing the organizing and the logistics, so as the person getting the events together, reaching out to people, basically everything all round around that week. So I am excited to share that I learned a lot and it is part of work experience as well for me. Yes, which is something that we do within Global Entrepreneurship Week. We engage volunteers from all around. Botswana ko lapeng, if you want to contribute next year, you can register with us to be a volunteer to be able to have the same impact as I did.
Yeah. Maybe someone would like to know how does fostering entrepreneurship contribute to Botswana's economic growth?
So, like Shanice had said, on day one of Global Entrepreneurship Week was Media Day, which was very important in showcasing the voices of Entrepreneurship Week, the voices of entrepreneurs in Botswana and all around the globe. So, it reminds us that everybody has a story and every business has a story, which is what personalizes us. It is not just AI doing the work, because we shared a lot on AI. It is the people doing the work. There is a face behind Microsoft and there's a face behind Lion Tutoring. That's actually human capital. So it reminds us to invest into our talent, because people are what matter. So going back to your question, entrepreneurship can help raise the GDP. It can help scale our economic growth, because if you look at countries like Algeria, they have a whole minister of startups and economic growth. So if you look at USA also, Silicon Valley, which is the tech sector, it contributes so much to the economy. And even in Botswana, that is where our future is. We should be able to invest in these startups so that we can be able to grow our economy. And beyond startups or beyond the technology scene, we should be celebrating our entrepreneurs as well, because agriculture is a huge part of our story. For example, UB was built ka kgomo ya Motswana hela ko gae, and that was able to do something for our economy. And agriculture as well, we should be focusing on our entrepreneurs, agriculture, and across other sectors as well, so that we can diversify our economy and have economic growth. That is the importance of entrepreneurship. The more exports we produce, the more money comes into our country.
Wow.
Yes, so the more we do manufacture and innovate as well, we're able to have solutions that will be able to get us to diversify our economy beyond the mining sector.
For sure. You did talk about startups. I'd like to know what last week, for sure you had some of the collaborations, or maybe it involved some of the small companies or startups. How important are those?
Startups are very important because we all need money, especially startups. A startup is an innovative driven enterprise.
Yes.
So it's innovation driven. So if you come to me and you're like, hi Emang, this is my pitch deck, I wouldn't tell you that's not innovative enough, because innovation is innovation. That is what it is. So as for startups, I would say it's important for us to bring networks like Global Entrepreneurship Week so that we can have investors accessing these startups so that they can be able to invest. And by investment, I'm not talking about grants, I'm talking about venture capital, where we have angel investors and families in Botswana that are already well renowned and have funds to be able to back up an entrepreneur, to say, I am giving you this money to be able to grow your business, because that is the only way we're able to grow.
Right. Yes. Thank you for that. Shanice has been sharing with me that the event was all a success, and I'd like to believe that, because she was saying that you did achieve a lot, right?
Yes.
And I'd like to believe that there were some of the challenges that you did encounter. What were those?
We did have setbacks during the week, because this is a global team.
Yes.
So this is a global supply chain pipeline. We're providing a service here. It's not a product, it's a service.
It's a service.
So within global pipelines, we're going to have disruptions and bottlenecks within the supply chain. It could be communication issues. We had virtual events. It could be, lack of technological support and lack of human capital as well. So, for example, at the Buti University Innovation Day, we didn't have a great turnout because we were not able to subsidize the prices for University of Botswana students, and that's the biggest university in Botswana. So had we done that, we would have had a better turnout for the university students. But the theme for the week, like every panelist across the week has mentioned this, that in entrepreneurship or in business, you are going to have failure. And, you know, it's how we grow, it's how we learn. And we should normalize failure as well in our businesses. So yes, all we can do is learn from this and plan better and strategize better going forward.
So talking about that, what are some of the lessons that you learned that will contribute or help improve the next initiative?
Because I do have a background in logistics and supply chain management.
Okay.
So it goes back to the planning and the organizing. I now have a better viewpoint of this is how we get the different ecosystems to engage, you know. There's a way you're going to approach government, the government sector, there's a way you're going to approach the private sector, and there's a way you're going to approach universities as well. And we do need universities in our economy. Like, we could be using the students for research, you know, where we want to explore any topic or any problem, that's the first step that we should go to. So that's one thing that I learned this week, that we should be involving universities in research so that we can be able to solve the problems that we have in Botswana.
In just a minute, could you please share with Botswana Kolapeng, sorry about that, the youth he or she wanted to attend the event? Please motivate him or her to attend the next one.
Yes. So just follow us on social media. On LinkedIn, we are Global Entrepreneurship Network Botswana, and on Facebook, we are Global Entrepreneurship Week Botswana. So we do have, we had virtual events. I believe that everything is up to date. All the topics, all the themes for the week, they're all on our social media pages. And next time as well, we will engage the youth more than we did last week. So we will engage the youth, we will engage Botswana, we will engage more volunteers, and we will be able to do it better and bigger for more impact.
Thank you so much for your time, Emang.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.